Idle hands spend time at the genitals, and you know how much God hates that.
So, if you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourselves for the podcast?
Not at all. Well, I'll give you an overall introduction for starters. We're Scrotal Vice from Sydney, Australia. My name's Testortion.
I'm Doom.
C-Rash. And I am Castrotti.
So, right now we are downstairs from Rumah Api, where you guys are headlining a show on a Wednesday night, which is going to be the last date of your Southeast Asian tour. Is that correct?
That is indeed correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I guess right off the bat, let's start with the name Scrotal Vice. Why?
Well, you know, any question that's why is why not. Look, Castrotti, you had a big part in this.
Well, the original, we'd been talking about making a band for a long time. Had some ideas, you know. None of them great. But any band needs a name, unfortunately. And we're thinking, look, you know, any name will do, but we need to have a name that, like, can't be fucked with, you know? A name that you can't get any deeper with. Like, lead straight into the depths of brutality where it's hard to go much further. So we thought about our balls and we thought about them getting crushed. And just like that, it popped like fucking magic into my head. Scrotal Vice. You know, I said it to the boys and they were like, fuck bro, that's sick.
And exactly in that accent.
And I always felt that if we wanted to go a bit more mainstream, we could always advocate as a men's health group and go Scrotal Advice.
Well,
yeah.
Also, I feel it appeals to many demographics because, I mean, there are many in this world of ours who dislike the scrotum, dislike the balls, and want to see them crushed violently, and that's fine. But there are also many advocates of the scrotum.
Well, not just advocates, people who require the scrotum to live.
Yes. And people who you could say have a vice for the scrotum.
Yes.
Some people have a vice for cigarettes, red wine. There are others who just can't get enough scrotum.
And in the grey area, we find the people who like to crush objects with 2 pairs of balls.
Just keeps getting deeper.
Yeah.
Deeper.
I guess the reason why I have questions about the name Scrotal Vice is because I discovered you guys on the flyer for this show for the first time, and I stared at your logo for, I kid you not, 20 minutes trying to figure out what you were called. And I got to Vice pretty quickly, and it was just the first part that I had trouble understanding, so yeah.
People don't call it alien brain for no reason. You know? It is hard to understand.
Yeah, it's written in a pretty scrotally font. We're not like most kind of fucking grind and metal bands where it's just a fucking bunch of sticks and a scrawl of piss on the wall. I'd say it's fine. It's hard. I know what it says, so I can read it, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of elbow skin in there, you know.
So it's Scrotal Vice on a warm day is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
We don't play when it's
very
too cold.
loose, not taut.
Not taut.
So let's talk about how you guys got here. This is, I believe, your first Southeast Asian tour, right?
That is indeed correct.
But not your first Asian tour.
That is also correct.
Okay, so let's talk about how the Southeast Asian tour came about. Why this region?
So, it's our 5-year anniversary right now. For some fucking reason, these fucking idiots are still all with me. I don't know why.
Not so much with as in.
As in They're still fucking tagging along with whatever dumb ideas I come up with, which is fucking brilliant for me. I don't know how great it is for the rest of them. But we've been doing this dumb shit for 5 years now. And we thought, fuck, we've got to celebrate. There's all these places we want to go to. There was only fucking a week and a half window open, and we kind of had a chat when we were on our last Asian tour. That was a beautiful chat that we had. We were in Chengdu. We're halfway through our last tour, 2 weeks deep. We're all fucking spaced out, not enough sleep, too many shows, got really high. Trying to have a serious band talk, fucking Doom's passed out on the couch, and so while he was fucking half asleep, we decided that we were coming to Southeast Asia. Essentially, it's right between Australia and Asia, where 2 of us are mostly based. So yeah, it made sense.
And this is the last date of the Southeast Asian tour. How's it been so far?
Oh, it's been pretty fucking good. Look, we're still amid the tapas and the fucking guttural stabs, not enough sleep, too many buses. What else has been... Let's just focus on the bad things quickly. What else has been keeping us down?
Fuck, it's hot.
It's hot.
Fuck, it's hot.
The humidity, the heat.
I've been mainly concerned about contracting trench ass.
Trench ass, yes.
I mean, like, you know, in World War One, those poor soldiers had their feet stuck in the mud for too long and ended up contracting trench foot. But here in Southeast Asia, there tends to be not much toilet paper in sight unless you're carrying the poo tickets yourself. You're sort of stuck with a bucket or a hose to wash your anus, which is totally fine with me, except there's no sort of rags to, soak up the dampness afterwards. So we're walking around with damp asses all the time.
The toilet seats are damp as well from the fucking humidity. You're all sweaty. The trench asses have been a real worry for us the past 8 days, I must say.
Not a lot of people talk about trench ass. I mean, where's our telethon?
We need to bring it to the forefront. People are worried about all sorts of dengue fever, fucking this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
trench ass.
Fuck off, ALS. Fucking trench ass.
Why wasn't that on the list of things I needed to get immunised
I want
for?
the Dunny Bucket Challenge for trench ass.
But look, in all seriousness, we are quite worried about trench ass. But in all seriousness, beyond that, Southeast Asia has been fucking sick. It really, really has been. We did Indonesia, Thailand, and now we're here in Malaysia. Played with some really cool bands, been to some really fucking cool venues, eaten some fucking amazing food. And yeah, it's really nice to be capping it all off here at Rumah Api.
Did you know anything about the scene before you got here?
Coming from Australia, we hear a little bit. It's kind of closer than Europe and America. I get the idea that we know a little bit. That there are bands, and some come to Australia, and we've not enough, but some do.
I've heard particularly that Indonesia has a brutal metal scene, and we felt that brutality, especially in Jakarta.
Yeah.
The day after Jakarta was a very brutal day in my life.
But I do have to admit that in terms of actual bands, we're pretty ignorant, and so it's been sick to fucking see some good bands and fucking buy a bunch of sick merch and get into it.
Vargas does not drink, does not smoke, does not make love. What do you do, Vargas? Every man has his passion. Mine is fishing.
Tell me about playing China, because I believe one of you is based there, and not only have you guys played there, but you've toured there twice.
Yeah, we've toured there twice. I'll speak as the non-China expert very quickly, and then I'll throw over to our Chinese correspondent, our cheeky Chinese cunt.
Cheeky Chinese cunt.
Playing in China's fucking sick. There's so many fucking cities. Every city, every province that you go to is a totally different world. There's different fucking bands there. There's different scenes going on. It's all in the hardcore punk scene as a very big overall branch. It's just so fucking fun. You could tour there for fucking ever. That's why we've been back twice. We want to fucking go back again. It's just fucking wild. Can you give us some real information, cheeky Chinese cat?
Yeah, sweet. So I'll recommend a couple of labels to check out quickly, which I recommended already to the wonderful interviewer here. But fucking down in Guangzhou, there's a sweet label called Cheese Snacks Records. They're one of the fucking finest DIY labels in China. Just put out a bunch of cassettes and CDs, and they've got a lathe cut machine they put out sick shit on. Fucking bring a million touring bands through. I've heard they fucking throw shows in fucking toilet. They've thrown a show in a toilet once.
Yes.
All this kind of shit. They're sick. There's another sick label based out of Beijing called Gunjing that does like split 7 inches between Chinese bands and American overseas bands, which is sick. But yeah, China, it's not a massive scene in terms of hardcore and punk and that. But everywhere you go, there's a couple of fucking sick local bands playing. There's a really big wave of like old school like fucking 77 UK punk is massive. A lot of like New York style hardcore, but then all kinds of weird fucking random bands thrown around. One of our favourites is Die Chua Would Die from Guangzhou, who are the dudes from Cheese Snacks Records, who do fucking crazy weird like hardcore punk with synths and 2 vocalists and just like really manic shit. And but then it's not quite a few bands come to Beijing and Shanghai and Wuhan, the big cities, and so they're sort of more well treaded, and there's big scenes there, really good bands, fucking sick. But then there's like 100 different cities you can play in China, like literally fucking Brain Failure, old classic Chinese band, did a 100 tour date of China recently, and you go to those small cities and it's just like fucking strange new world out there.
What was the city that we played in?
Anchuan?
Anchuan. I don't think any foreigners had been to Anchuan before, because we got out of the fucking... It's up in the mountains for starters. It was fucking freezing, middle of winter, up in the mountains. We got out of the cab and everybody in their cars was stopping, getting out, fucking taking photos and videos of us as we're standing there spaced out trying to find our way around. Their venue the first live house had only opened 6 months before we got there. There were no other bands in the town, so I had to be booked to play an acoustic show before we played, and then luckily they found another. I think they were from a neighbouring city, the psychedelic band that we played with. But so it was me doing an acoustic show, then this psychedelic band, and then we played. I must say, my show and the psychedelic show went down a lot better than we did. aside from the people streaming out the door, the ancient landlady who lived above the venue came down in her pajamas, came on stage, ripped out Doom's lead from his amp and started assaulting him.
Catastrophically assaulted.
I love going to small cities in China.
Grievous physical violence upon my person.
So I guess the question is, when do you go back?
Have we had any
as soon as possible, man.
Have we had any callback?
That's the most I've been touched in years.
You just want that old Chinese granny action.
We're going to go back to China just to play an Anchuan again, man.
I want to play an Anchuan and Zubor. That's where I got my Chinese granny action. We had some nice dancing in the park.
One last question about China, and then we'll move on. Throughout Southeast Asia, most of the bands will play grindcore the way you're used to hearing grindcore, play hardcore the way you're used to playing hardcore. They'll sing in English for the most part. Is it like that in China, or is it like hardcore bands singing in Chinese?
It's a mix. They sing both English and Chinese. Yeah, there's both. There's one of our favorite bands from Chongqing. There's this band called Backhand Thrust, Fan Shou Yi Dao, and for some reason the singer, although he's from Chongqing, a Chinese dude, he seems to think that he's Japanese for some reason. So he comes up to you and starts speaking in Japanese and gets like 2 sentences in, then you realise you can't speak anymore. But I think some of their lyrics are in Japanese. But in general, yeah, a mix of Chinese and English. And China's a bit more cut off from the international scene than other places are. Like here in Southeast Asia, like people are pretty up onto all the fucking sick new bands that are coming out all over the world. In China, especially because of language difficulties and everything, they're a bit cut off.
I think the internet restrictions has a big
internet
part
restrictions
of that
as well.
too.
So in some ways that's like a bummer because they're kind of stuck on a lot of the old school bands from like 70s and 80s, and that's sort of where some of it gets stuck. Although there's a new generation of cunts who fucking know everything. But also it means that some of it's branched out into sort of weird territories, and there's a straight like a hardcore sound there, more old school Chinese hardcore sound with bands like Shit Dog and Top Floor Circus, that's sort of gone into new bands like Human Centipede and things, that they've got a sort of strange sound to their own. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Scrotal Vice. You guys play with masks. Once again, why? Why the masks?
But you can see our faces right now. You understand why we need to be masked. No one needs to see this shit.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's about the performance. It's adding to the intensity. When you'll see us play for the first time in a moment upstairs. We try not to talk. We have samples in between our songs. Everything just needs to be fucking intense. We've seen way too many really, really fucking good bands that have mad fucking heavy riffs, and then the song ends and they give a little smile and go, oh, thanks guys, thanks for coming out to the show. So fucking, you were just crushing my fucking brain and sack 2 seconds ago. Why are you being fucking little pussy right now? It's just got to be fucking, you got 20 minutes, fucking hit it hard, no bullshit, and then the rest of the time we can be fucking weak as.
Yeah. Even as someone who's, I think I'm the least versed in Asian culture of all the band, and something I've noticed, especially in China, was the fact that when people come out to shows, they want to see a show. In China, I think I realized people are not so worried about the genre of music. Other countries, especially in Australia, people are like, oh no, I want to go see hardcore, I want to go see punk. In China, people want to see a show, and I think something that the masks provide is a show. So people are not too worried about what genre we're playing, what music we're playing. We put on a show, and the masks are part of that show, I think.
Would you say you're playing characters when you put the masks on?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. And that's true. Like, no one gives a fuck who I am.
No one gives a fuck who we are when we've got the masks on either.
Yeah.
No, that's it. It is fucking masks on, characters a go. Fucking, yeah, we're not there anymore. We're not here now.
Yeah.
I've been talking to myself this entire interview.
Exactly, yeah.
It's amazing how many accents I can do.
You
It's
alone in the
amazing what
gutter.
acid can do.
Is there an overall concept or an overarching concept to the band? Because you have an interesting way of describing your music.
How do we describe our music?
Post-op.
So our
You wrote that. I didn't write that. You wrote
it's the great genre that we're called is
Fucking test
extreme post-op power grind. Everything, it's got to be extreme. It's got to be fast. It's got to be heavy. It's got to be dumb. It's got to be fun.
Yeah.
I think is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you tried your hardest. You get an achievement award, participation award for that description. I'm not going to try because I've been drinking. I've been drinking this local beer called Bear Beer.
you can't even fucking talk
Beer
anymore.
Bears.
Get
Beer
out of
Bear
the fucking
Beers.
interview, mate.
Get out of the
Get off
interview.
Fuck
fucking
off.
bear beers, mate.
I would tell
Fuck.
you to get into the gutter, but we're already in the fucking gutter.
It's too late. You
Get
can't-
to the gutter on the
you
other
can't-
side of the
You can't
road.
have fucked with me for at least one more night. And I'm struggling all around, but I think we'll pull through. We'll pull through.
So what a lot of people don't know is that when I do these interviews, I actually sit the bands down on the curb outside the building, and so there have been some questions about why there's so many truck noises and stuff like that going on, and yeah, like we literally are. I literally am sitting in the gutter right now, and I was polite enough to give our guests the curb. you guys are on the higher ground right now.
We're on the street.
Morally, ethically.
So as far as describing your music, grindcore, fun and dumb, would you describe yourselves as a comedy grind band?
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
Because we're not that funny.
Not that funny. I believe good grindcore has to have at least an element of comedy in it, because it needs to be the fastest, most brutal, the short, fast. I believe that inherently is kind of funny. And even in metal in general, I believe metal in general needs to be at least a little bit kind of funny, because you're trying to be brutal. You're talking about like eating brains and desecrating corpses and all sorts of
Crushing
things.
scrots.
Crushing scrots. Yeah, of course, there has to be an element of comedy in there.
Well, look, I think the thing is, we write music to appease ourselves, and we hope other people enjoy it. We want to write good music, but we don't want to take it too fucking seriously.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
you shouldn't either.
Yes.
Seriously, don't. Seriously, don't take it seriously.
So if I'm not mistaken, your last album was Humanimal? Is that correct?
Yeah, our last EP. Yeah. We've released 3 EPs, the last one being Humanimal. And then our last release was 2 tracks on our own record label, Scrotal Records' first compilation, Tentacles, which has bands that we've played with in Taiwan, China, Korea, Japan, and Australia.
I want to talk about the compilation in a little while. Let's start with Humanimal. Specifically, let's talk about the video, because there's a lot of you in the video. And when I say a lot of you, I mean you guys are naked, running through the forest. How did that come about?
Well, there's... am I giving away our trade secrets here, Castrotti?
I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, about the inspiration for this video.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's this... Unfortunately, they've broken up now, but there was this really, really cool anti-idol group in Japan called Brand New Idol Society. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Japanese girls. And when there was only 3 or 4 of them in the group, they went to the suicide forest at the base of Mount Fuji, and they got naked and they filmed a film clip, and it's awesome. And we fell in love with that, and we thought, we're touring Japan, we've got a day off, we can go to Mount Fuji, go to the suicide forest, and we'll get naked, and it's going to be just as fucking beautiful. And lo and behold, it fucking wasn't. And I don't know why. Maybe if our breasts were a bit bigger or something, it could have helped.
My breasts are pretty well developed, you must say. I've got to have at least a B cup.
Your breasts are quite plump, I must admit. But it was the middle of winter. It was fucking freezing. I'm not trying to make any excuses here. Our cocks are also very small. But it was also really hard to move around because it's all volcanic rock from fucking Mount Fuji, which is a dormant volcano, and so it's all like sharp and mossy, and so we thought that we were fucking jumping around looking really, really badass. And our ex-vocalist, Miss Mace, who edits all our videos, we sent her all the footage, and she's like, what the fuck am I meant to do with this? It's just you guys teetering around on some rocks naked in a forest. And so she did a fucking amazing job of splicing it all together and making it actually look good.
I mean, I can't comment on it more than A, I couldn't watch it at work, and B, I could barely watch it on the train. Just in terms of like being in a Muslim country, and it's like, oh, this is just a bunch of naked guys on my phone for no reason.
You got plenty of reason.
But I mean, it is memorable. I will say that.
I mean, that's another reason why we need to keep our faces covered.
Yes.
We're doing this kind of dumb shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, masks on, cocks out.
let's talk about the compilation. You guys put it out yourselves, and it's a compilation of bands from around Asia Pacific. So have you been self-releasing this whole time?
Yeah, we always self-released, except our second EP, which was put out. It was half us and with Good Times Records, which is run by Tommy GT from Australian band Disparo, Fat Monica, etc., etc. He helped us out a fucking lot with that. But even then, that's independent. So yeah, it's always been independent. But yeah, our first and third EP, and now that we started our own record label, if you can give it that label, yeah, it's all independent. We're doing it all ourselves, and then yeah, Good Times helped us out too.
Are you planning on releasing other bands, or is the label just for your own releases?
At the moment, the label's just for our own releases. Maybe do another compilation at some point. But then also we've been organising tours, because we're always organising our own tours. We organised a Japan, Korea, China tour for Australian skate punk band Coffin in April. Coming up this month, we organised a Japan tour for Mexican hardcore band Grito. And in December, how would you describe Diploid? Dark
Yeah,
grind.
they're a sort of, what would you call them, a blackened grind band from Melbourne with like noise shit as well.
So,
really
yeah,
fucking sick Melbourne band.
bringing them out to Japan as well. So it's kind of more for touring at the moment. We organised sporadic events, and yeah, it was just a name to slap on things.
So if you're thinking of coming to Japan or China or that kind of region, hit us up.
Yeah, hit up Scrotal Records. We'll fuck you over.
You guys seem very connected to Asia in general. Is there any particular reason?
But yeah, two of us ended up living in Japan and China. It's not far from Australia, and so we did get a bunch of bands coming down, and that's kind of, at least personally, that drew me up that way in the first place. And then we've toured, and it's fucking good time, good food, good people.
Yeah, and in terms of like where we want to play in the world, like musically, like I mean, all of our tours have been in Australia, New Zealand, and Asia. And you know, we've always considered about going to Europe or whatever, but I know for us at the moment, it seems a lot more exciting coming here. I also really fucking want to get. I've recently with another band gone to South America, and that was fucking sick. That's another part of the world that needs to be explored more. I think eventually we need to do an Africa tour.
Yeah.
But that's well far ahead. We're thinking about maybe next tour we might do.
Not maybe.
Yeah. Well, next tour, I think we're gonna do a fucking we're gonna head to South Asia. We want to head to fucking like Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, maybe Pakistan. We still haven't worked out the details, but I think that's what's next on the books. Yeah. It's like closer to us geographically, and it's fucking more exciting fucking place to fucking be, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's something about the excitement. Nothing we do is conventional, so like that's it. We've toured in other bands and stuff, and there's fucking mad stuff happening in America. There's mad stuff happening in Europe, UK, and stuff, and we will definitely get there one day. But yeah, it's way more exciting to go to places that are a bit more uncharted, as it were, for other bands coming from Australia and stuff.
And so, besides these hopefully upcoming tours, what's next for you guys?
Fucking good nap. So, well, for starters, we will play this show today.
I've got to go to fucking work on Monday.
Yeah, it's fucking, unfortunately, boring shit. Back to fucking real life.
Well, I think in the near future we'll be putting some new stuff together. Like you said, there are a couple of us that are living overseas, and we'll all be back in Australia around February. So we're going to pen some new stuff down. I mean, we've been bouncing ideas on Messenger, which isn't exactly conducive to getting shit done quickly. So we'll be doing that. I think we might play a couple of shows in Australia if we're lucky.
Yeah, my fucking house, bro.
That's the one. And
just in Doom's bedroom.
Yeah, come into my room. We're going to be in my room.
It's gonna be masks on, cocks out in Doom's bedroom.
It's what I say to all the pretty interviewers. You know what I mean?
fucking sellout
when,
show.
Are you even Scottish? I think I've got more Scottish blood than you do, cunt.
I'll fucking take you.
I know you'll take me. I know you'll take me. Your cock's out.
You squib cunt.
Actually, that's something that I kind of glossed over. With the four of you living in 3 different countries, how do you actually write and record?
We don't.
Yeah, the last recordings we made were a long time ago.
A couple of years
ago, which we sort of steady released over a couple of releases to, you know, spread it out a little bit. And then in terms of rehearsing, we had one rehearsal before this tour.
Yeah, this tour started in Tangerang, and we got to Tangerang a day before the show. Got in the studio, realised we need to get in the studio once more, so got in the studio again before the show, and then played the show.
Shame it didn't help.
Yeah, we've actually got really tight yesterday, the day before, and now it's all over again. So
I finally got calluses on my fingers again.
yeah,
Yeah, hopefully February we'll be recording a bunch of new songs. We still haven't decided 100% whether we will be doing a full length this time, or more likely, because it's hard to record and meet together, slowly dribbling them out to make it seem like we're actually still being busy and doing shit.
We've got a whole bunch of things ready to fucking put on the table and slam out together, do a bunch of recording, hopefully do a bunch of splits over the next, 5 years. Just from the next recording session, that'd be ideal.
One session, 5 years.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Boobs.
We already spoke about Castrone's plump breasts. We don't need to
That's
speak about
fair
boobs
enough. Fair
anymore.
enough. And I masturbated earlier, so it's fine.
Also, I feel like boobs are kind of off-brand for Scrotal Vice, so...
Yeah, fucking keep it to yourself, Doom.
So I'm too progressive for this. Guys.
Yeah, look, thank you very much for chatting to us. Fucking anybody who has wasted their time listening to us, thanks for making it this fucking far. Check out our tunes, check out our videos. If you're ever in the same country as any of us, make it to a show. Fucking come say cheers. Check out Scrotal Records as well. We're trying to do shit. If you fucking, want to hurt us, hurt us. If you want to help us, help us. Fucking we'll see you at a show.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very kindly.
No, fuck you.
Open mouth, car, but it's